In today's video, we're going to be learning how you can cross a soccer ball and how to have that curving effect on your cross, which makes it absolutely difficult and dangerous for your opponents to defend against. We're also going to be opening out some drills, which really helps you to improve your crossing in a very short amount of time, because they're very effective and you can easily improve your crossing techniques with these drills. So all you need for today's video is going to be a soccer ball, a wall, and a couple of cones to practice your crossing with. So let's get into it. So before we move on to the drills that helps you improve your crossing, let's talk about the proper technique of how to cross the soccer ball and how to have that curving effect on the ball. The first step of crossing the soccer ball and to have that curving effect on the ball is your approach to the ball. So this step is very important. When you want to cross the ball, the first thing that you want to do is to tap the ball a little bit out of your feet when you're dribbling with it. So you want to have that space between you and the ball when you want to cross it. If you don't have that space, it's very difficult to generate power on your cross. So instead, you want to tap the ball a little bit out of your feet so you have a little bit of space and you want to be approaching the ball. The second point about your approach is your angle of approach. This is very important. You never want to approach the ball straight when you want to have that curving effect on your cross. Because if you approach the ball straight, then it is very difficult to generate the curve and at least very difficult to get it on target. So your ball will spin away from your target. Instead, to generate the best curve on your ball, you must be approaching the ball at an angle. The angle that I recommend is a 90-degree angle. That is the best angle for you to curve the ball with your cross. So you want to be approaching the ball here at a 90-degree angle so you can curve your cross. This is the second point about your approach. The next step to have an accurate and good cross is your planting foot. This part is very important as well, so I really want you to pay close attention to this part. Your planting foot must be planted beside the ball and pointing a little bit away from your target. Or I should say, pointing a little bit in front of your target. So if your teammate is making the run, you want your planting foot to be pointed right in front of them, because that ball will be curving. And if your planting foot is pointing straight at your target, then that ball will curve behind them. And that is not what you want. You want the ball to be landing right on their head or right here so they can volley the ball into the net. So to do that, you want your planting foot to be pointing a little bit in front of your target, so when it curves, it lands in the proper spot for your teammate to finish. The next step of crossing the ball is with the contact you want to have on the ball. This part is very important. The contact and the place you want to be making contact on the ball is depending on the type of cross that you want to have. So if you want your cross to go up and down and to have that up and down effect, you want to be making contact with more of the lower half of the ball. If you want your cross to have less elevation on it and to be landing somewhere here, you want to be making contact with more towards the center of the ball. Or if you want your cross to be on the ground, then you're going to make contact with the center of the ball so you have a low cross to your teammate. But if you want the ball to come up and add elevation to your cross, you must be making contact with more of the underside of the ball so you can add elevation to your ball. And at the same time, when you're making contact with the ball, you want to be making contact with the outside of the ball and not the inside. So when you're crossing the ball, your foot starts on the outside and you're going to slide your foot around the ball. You're going to wrap your foot around the ball to have that curving effect on the ball. And now let's talk about the next step, which is your contact on your foot that you're having when you're crossing the ball. This part is very important. So the part on your foot that you want to be making contact with is the inside of your foot. So when you're sliding your foot around the ball, you want to really use the inside of your foot to wrap your foot around the ball. So you're going to make contact. You're going to start making contact with the outside part of the ball, and then you're going to slide your foot, wrap your foot around the ball to have that curving effect. Now, if you want to have that up and down effect with your cross, you want your toes to be pointing upwards and not straight. The less up and down effect you want to have, the less your toes must be pointing up. So your toes, if your toes are pointing more towards the ground, then the less up and down effect you're going to have on your cross. So if you want the cross to be up and down, your toes must be pointing up when you're making that cross. So these are all the steps of how to cross the ball and how to have the curving effect on the ball. So now let's talk about the drills to improve your crossing in soccer. So the drills that we're going to be doing in this video is going to be all against the wall. However, if you have a partner to train with, you can also do it in a regular soccer field. But what I definitely recommend if you're training individually is to do it against the wall, and the reason for that is because you're getting thousands of repetitions in a very, very short amount of time, so you're going to be mastering this technique and improving in a very, very short amount of time. So when I'm crossing the soccer ball, I really want you to focus on doing the details and focus on how I'm making contact with the ball and doing the same thing with your own cross. So you really want to be wrapping your foot around the ball, and you also want to be making sure that your planting foot is pointing towards your target. Now, because you're crossing against the wall, there might be no target, but you want to be making sure that you're having that curve effect at least to improve your technique. So for the first drill, all you need is going to be a soccer ball and a wall. So you don't need any cones for the first exercise. And all you're going to do is that you're going to cross the ball with elevation against the wall. And when it comes to you want to take your first touch at a 90-degree angle so you can approach the ball at a 90-degree angle and really get that curving effect on it. But for the first exercise, you don't require any cones. However, for the last exercise, you do require a couple of cones to help you out. The next exercise is going to be very, very similar to the previous exercise. But instead, with this exercise, you're going to practice the low elevation cross technique. So to do that, you want to be making contact with a little bit higher half of the ball. So not above the center of the ball, but a little bit higher than the previous exercise. So for the previous one, you were always making contact with the lower half of the ball to get elevation. But in this one, you're just going to make contact with a little bit higher half of the ball to have no elevation or very little elevation on the ball. So the situation that you want to be using this technique in is when we're attacking in a counterattack against the opponent and we've still not reached the opponent's box and you have a teammate running in behind the defense. So because we've still not reached the opponent's box, there's no risk of the goalkeeper coming out and catching the ball. So for those reasons, you want to be sending a low cross, which is absolutely dangerous, and it is a lot easier for your teammate to control, and they're going to be in a one-on-one situation. However, if you've reached very close to the opponent's box and their shape is very, very good in the box and everybody is in the box, it is very risky to send a low cross because every time there's a high chance that it's going to be cleared. Or even if it's not cleared, the goalkeeper is going to catch it. So you don't want to be sending a low cross in that situation. In that situation, you want to be using the previous exercise technique to cross the ball. For the next exercise, you'll be needing cones to do it. So the way it works is that you're going to be placing your cones, you're going to be attacking your cones and performing your 1v1 move. Once you perform your 1v1 move, you're going to explode away from the cone and you're going to cross the ball right away. There are no limits for this exercise on what type of cross to send in. You can send in any type of cross that we practiced in this video so far. But this exercise really works on two different aspects of your game. It works on your 1v1 and your crossing at the same time. And this exercise is really, really fantastic for you wingers out there who receive the ball and they have to beat the defender and send in a good cross. So the best move to use in that situation is the scissors, which is a great move to use at speed. If you don't know how to do the scissors, you can definitely check out my other video which I spoke about the scissors. So this scissors is a fantastic move to use in this situation, especially on the wing to beat the defenders. So there you go guys, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe and make sure to let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about how to cross a soccer ball. But I'll see you guys in my next video and make sure to enjoy the rest of your day.